December is here again. Yes, December is here again. And as you already know, during this time, there's the celebration of Christmas, which is supposed to mark um, Christ and what He came to do for us here on earth. Now, for those of you who have taken note, during this time in town, traffic is very congested. There are times where people can sit in traffic for 3 hours and 4 hours in some places when the places get choked up because there's just so much people and cars around certain places at this time. Because of the festive season, normally at this time, nationals who have gone outside the country, they return and come back home, and then when they come, they have particular places they go to spend time at. Some people go chill at certain pubs, certain restaurants, or just certain grounds where there's a lot of lively action and entertainment going on. And normally at these areas, other people who use these areas realize that there seems to be some jamming up of traffic in those areas. So these are all factors of the congestion that occurs during the festive season. And you should know that as the days go by, people are buying cars every day. So the road is still the same road we are using, but the cars are more than before. And all these ones are also inclusive in the reasons why traffic is always congested during December. Now, at this time of the year, there are some things you would note about certain commodities. While certain commodities which were not being sold before during the beginning of the year, so now those commodities will be sold because of the festive season. Also, you'll notice that some of these prices may be going up compared to what they used to be before the year came to an end. So if you don't know, you should get prepared for some of these things. Now, for the traffic congestion during December, most people cannot avoid it. Most people have no other ways of escape aside using motorbikes. So for those of you who would be working in places where there's going to be a lot of traffic jams, or you'll be moving around places where there will be a lot of congestion, you'd be advised to charter a motorbike to take you to wherever you are going. Now, the only problem with the motorbike is because they are meant for only one people and not for load. Those people who normally would like to go do some shopping and buy large amounts of items will not be able to use the motorbikes. If you want to use a motorbike to transport some stuff, it can take an amount, but it's limited to a certain weight and a certain amount. You cannot buy something like a fridge and put it on a motorbike to transport. So those are just the disadvantages for people who will be making large purchases and then getting a lot of stuff. If you are going to buy some things that are about like half a sack worth, you can take a motorbike. But when it's more than that, then the motorbike will not be a good option for you. So that is it. Those of you who have not mounted motorbikes before, if you want to avoid the traffic jams and all this congestion, you have to start taking one. They will be able to meander their ways through all the traffic that's in town, They are very good at it, trust me. They will use pavements even when the whole road is choked. They will find ways to get you to where you want to go to, and you save yourself the trouble and all the time that could be wasted. But for those of you who will not be able to avoid the traffic jams, maybe your only option is to take a taxi or a trotro or an Uber or boat or any of these other vehicles that could get you home. We are sorry to say you would have to sit inside the car and wait till you get home. Many times some vehicles will try to use shortcuts, but during December every shortcut becomes a long cut. Whatever you do, you meet some place where there are a lot of traffic. So no matter, even if you are faster than Google Map, wherever you pass, December is December. you cannot Google the Google, you understand. When it's December, forget. You'd have to be inside. The only thing is the waiting is not as painful as some conditions of the vehicle that you have to wait in. For example, if you are taking an Uber, it wouldn't be too much of a problem waiting because you would feel comfortable, especially if the Uber has an air conditioner. You would even feel very relaxed, as you might as well even be listening to some music. If you are in a private car, the same. If you are in someone's vehicle, or your company has a bus that is going to take you home, yeah, you'd go through the same painful waiting, but it wouldn't be that much of a hassle. When you compare it to people who are going to sit in things like trotros, that is where you know what life is about. Sometimes these trotros can get very uncomfortable. If you are not fortunate and you are in a trotro whose seat is not stable, well, you might be having some back problems by the time you get home. So that is it. The problem is because the duration, the waiting time, is very long because of this traffic jams. You are just going to be going through a lot of pain. Yeah, and sometimes the other worst thing that you go through is the heat. Wow, heat. Ghana, we just, it's like we are close to the sun. It's like we and the sun, we are friends. The heat, wow. And if you've ever sat in a trotro, you know that you are actually sitting in an oven. Those things are made of nothing else but metal. Just like the way the ovens are, there's nothing inside to cushion you to reduce the heat. And unfortunately, our trotros don't come with ACs, and even those that do, is unless maybe it's a long journey vehicle or something, you will not see a trotro, using an AC for its passengers. No way. Unless the passengers pay double. So for those who will be using things like trotros and even some taxis, there's going to be a lot of heat. If you are not fortunate, if God willing, at the time you are in the traffic, maybe the weather becomes cold and you'll be fortunate, maybe even at the late hours of 5 6 downwards, let's just say 6 downwards, you might be a little comfortable because the heat will not be too much. But if it's in the afternoon to 5, from the afternoon to 5, even sometimes it's 5 and the sun has gone down, but because of the heat that has heated the whole atmosphere in the car, you still feel heat inside the vehicle even though the sun is not up. Those are some of the painful things that you go through during December. So we want our listeners, our cherished listeners, to know, so that they'll start taking the right precautions. For those of you who know any routes that will be, remember, like we told you, in December there's no shortcut, but you will definitely meet a place that will be doing better than another place. So if you know those routes that will not be too choked up, you can start navigating them to see how they'll do, and then just keep your mind open on the fact that you could be in a traffic situation anytime. It doesn't mean every single day in December will be a traffic jam. It depends on your location and also where you are going. If you could even be fortunate and you will not be in any traffic on your roads, but if definitely you are in the city and in town, expect that you would meet some traffic. So you take those precautions and just don't be too surprised when you sit in a car for like 4 hours or 5 hours, and yet you have only moved about like 5 steps, 5 human steps forward. And yeah, it happens. People sit. There are times when people even sleep in a vehicle because there's nothing else to do. You just sleep. Just sleep. That when it's like that, whatever you do, you would have to sit inside. So you just sleep. So that's it with the traffic congestion. Hey, we should also let you know sometimes there's human congestion too. Have you ever been to places like Makola, just the markets, and even some places that are not even markets, some institutions? You just go to a certain place, maybe a mall or something, and there are just so many people. Even walking is a problem because you have to bump through people, and sometimes people will shove you aside when they are coming your way. You know how it is like if you are not fortunate to be muscular, and the person who's coming is muscular or fat, he will just brush you past you somewhere and then keep going. It's a very painful experience. So watch out for human congestion too. In some areas you know that because of the demand of certain commodities, plenty people, just plenty multitudes of people will be thronging those places, and then everybody is trying to get what they want at the same time, and because of this there's a lot of trouble. People would be pushing, hitting people, and at this time a lot of provocations go on. So be careful. Just know that you are in town, anything can happen, and please, we beg of you, exercise a little constraint and patience during this period. This is the last month of the year, and the enemy would like to do things that would take you away from this world. So please be careful. It could be that someone will provoke you and it is not your fault, but if you can, just ignore the person. If you can, maybe something happens and you and someone are quarreling, just don't let it get to the next level. It is December. You know how people start things. Before I realize it's just a blow, a slap, knife, then the next thing we are seeing an obituary. We beg of you, we want you people to make it to 2022, because if you people die, we will not have anybody to speak this news to. So please show a little more patience, and then have mercy, and just be compassionate, even if the person doesn't deserve it. When you are going out, just have the mindset that somebody may be out there to tempt you. So when you face it, you will not be too surprised, and you will not have any shocking experience with it. It happens, especially during this period of the year. It happens. So we'd like you to know that as well. And then also, one other thing we cannot forget to mention is car accidents, certain car accidents. Isn't it funny how at this period where there's traffic jams in certain places, it's also at this period that certain people are able to speed and knock people off. Yep, it's December. Like we said, there's a lot of traffic in town, but when there's no traffic, or when traffic opens up, or when there's a free flow, or when there are roads where there are some roads that even though there's traffic in town, there will never be traffic there, because they are like highways. They are just so made in such a way that you wouldn't find traffic there, so people normally speed on those roads. So all in all, what we are trying to say is that at this time, please, for those of you who are pedestrians, those of you who walk, baby no, careful, be very very careful when you are crossing the road. Please look left, look right, look left. In fact, if you want to, look backwards and forward again, because sometimes you'll be crossing the road, and I myself have personally experienced this before. I thought when you are crossing the road, you are supposed to look left, right, left, and then you are okay. I never knew that you are supposed to add backwards and forward sometimes. Yep. Ask me why. Well, in Ghana, things like motorbikes can come from anywhere. So you look left and right, alright, and there will be no car, you'll be crossing, but before you realize there's a motorbike from your back who will come and sweep you off. Yes, it happens. So when you're crossing the road, please look left, right, and behind too. We ourselves, we've added our own thing, Ghana News Base. We see when you want to cross, not only left and right, but add the back as well. So yeah, that is it. The main reason we are saying this is because there's a lot of impatience in some people. Maybe a certain motorbike is in a hurry to go somewhere, and he's passing the same place where you are crossing, and he will just pass through you like that. happen. So be careful. So all in all, just keep yourself away from danger, away from traffic, and just have an open eye. That's it. Have an open eye for anything that could take you off your feet. And please do have a very, 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 very Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening. You can always leave your comments about what we said about December and about the traffic congestions in the comment section below. Thank you very, very, very much for listening. Enjoy your Christmas and have a nice day.